Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes it just gets exhausting. Following this team, dealing with the noise, and hearing the same tired takes over and over again, it wears on you. And if you've been a Cowboys fan long enough, you know exactly what I mean. Every year it's the same cycle. The critics line up, the narratives get louder, and somehow it's always open season on Dak Prescott. But here's the thing, man. When you step back and look at the facts instead of the feelings, none of this hate makes any real sense. Take a second to think about it. CeeDee Lamb has been putting up insane numbers, some of the best in the entire NFL over the last 3 years. But then ask yourself, who's been throwing him the ball? It sure as hell isn't coming from thin air. That right there tells you something. Because if Dak Prescott was truly the garbage quarterback that some folks claim he is, then how on earth does CeeDee manage to lead the league in so many categories? You can't be that productive with a guy under center who doesn't know what he's doing. That's just not how this game works. But let me guess, someone's already yelling, "He only beats bad teams." Okay, fine. But riddle me this. If that's really the case, then why aren't other quarterbacks doing the same thing? Why aren't they out there padding their stats against weaker defenses and racking up historic numbers? At a certain point, you've got to stop and realize that Dak isn't the problem. He's actually been holding it down in a system that hasn't always given him the best tools to work with. That's not an excuse. It's just the truth. Now, I know the fan base is split. Some of you are all in on Dak. Others are holding out, waiting for that deep playoff run to make up your mind. So I'll ask you directly. Do you believe Dak can lead this team all the way if he's finally got the right pieces around him? Drop your answer in the comments and let's keep it real. Yes or no? I want to hear what you think. And while you're at it, if you're riding with this team through the highs and the lows, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's push this video out to more real fans like you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and help us hit that 14,000 subscriber mark. We're building something special here, and you're a big part of it. Let's keep going because we're just getting started. All right, now let's dig a little deeper into the whole Dak only succeeds because of his weapons argument. Because this one, it gets thrown around a lot, and honestly, it just doesn't hold up. Yes, Dak has had some talented guys around him. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper before that, and recently Jake Ferguson stepping up big time. No one's denying that. But think about this. Show me a successful quarterback in today's NFL who doesn't have a strong supporting cast. Go ahead, I'll wait. Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce, Josh Allen has Stephon Diggs, Joe Burrow's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So why is it that when those guys put up numbers, it's called elite quarterback play, but when Dak does it, it's somehow because of everyone but him? Let's not forget, this is the same guy who led the NFL in touchdown passes last season. Not Mahomes, not Hurts, not Burrow, Dak. And that happened with a constantly shifting offensive line and a run game that wasn't exactly striking fear into defenses. He had to carry more of the load, and he delivered. Now, I'm not here to say Dak is perfect. No quarterback is. He's had playoff struggles, and yes, those picks in the 2022 season were frustrating. But if you're just looking at the low points and ignoring the full body of work, then you're not evaluating the player. You're just feeding a narrative. And that's where too many fans and analysts miss the mark. So let me flip it back to you. If Dak was playing for a team like the 49ers, with that roster and that coaching staff, do you think he'd already have a ring? Think about that one for a second and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe he'd be a Super Bowl winner by now in a different situation? And if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, don't forget, this is just the beginning. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. We've got a lot more real talk coming your way. All right, now let's get into the part that really makes this whole conversation so frustrating. Here's where things start getting frustrating, not just for Dak fans, but for any Cowboys fan who actually watches the games and understands football. Every single time the Cowboys fall short, especially in the playoffs, it feels like the entire weight of that loss lands squarely on Dak Prescott's shoulders. Like clockwork. Never mind the defense collapsing in the second half. Never mind the offensive line breaking down under pressure. Never mind the questionable coaching decisions that have haunted this team for years. Now, for the national media and a huge chunk of the fan base, it's Dak failed again. Take that playoff loss to the 49ers in 2022. Was Dak perfect? No. But he wasn't out there dropping passes or getting run over at the line of scrimmage either. Yet somehow he gets painted as the sole reason for the loss. That's what doesn't sit right. It's like this team can only go as far as Dak carries them. But then when they stumble, it's all his fault. Can we talk about how unfair that is? And look, quarterbacks get judged differently. That comes with the position. But let's be real. If Justin Herbert or Josh Allen has a rough playoff game, the conversation turns into they need more help. When it's Dak, he's not the guy. Why the double standard? I want to hear from you. Do you think Dak is being held to an unfair standard compared to other top quarterbacks? Vote in the poll and let me know in the comments why you think that narrative still sticks around. Now, with all that said, let's look at what actually happened in 2023. Because what Dak did last season deserves a whole lot more respect than it's getting. All right, so let's talk about 2023, the season that should have changed the conversation around Dak Prescott once and for all. Statistically, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Let's not sugarcoat it. He was elite, over 4,500 passing yards, led the league in touchdown passes, top 5 in passer rating, and get this, he did all of that with a constantly shifting offensive line, no consistent run game to lean on, and a receiving core that outside of, CeeDee Lamb, left a lot to be desired. This wasn't just stat padding. Dak played smart football. He made tight window throws, converted on third down, and ran the offense with precision. The Cowboys didn't just win, they dominated during stretches of the season, especially at home. And Dak was a massive reason why. But even with that, what do you hear from critics? He hasn't won the big one. He folds under pressure. They ignore the context. They skip the part where he consistently shows leadership, toughness, and resilience in a league that's brutal week to week. The reality is, if any other quarterback in the league had the season Dak just had, they'd be on the MVP shortlist and getting praised non-stop by every analyst on TV. But when it's Dak, somehow it's not enough. So let me ask you, was Dak's 2023 season the best of his career so far? And more importantly, do you think it proved he can lead this team to a Super Bowl if the pieces around him are right? Vote in the poll and let's talk about it in the comments. Next, we've got to break down how the Cowboys front office has handled this whole situation, because that's where the drama really kicks in. Now here's where things get sticky. The Cowboys front office has had more than enough time to figure this out. They've watched Dak Prescott grow from a fourth-round rookie into the face of the franchise. And yet, here we are, entering a contract year with no extension in place and nothing close to being finalized. Let's be real. This isn't about money anymore. This is about commitment. The kind of commitment other franchises show when they know they've got their guy. Just look around the league. Teams are locking in their quarterbacks early. Long-term deals, huge guarantees, and full-on trust. And Dak? He's been left twisting in the wind while Jerry and Stephen Jones send mixed signals. On one hand, they praise his leadership and say he's the guy. On the other hand, they hold off on a deal and float rumors about drafting a quarterback next year. That doesn't send confidence. It sends confusion. And let's not ignore the effect this has on the locker room. When your leader's future is up in the air, it affects the whole vibe. Micah Parsons notices. CeeDee Lamb notices. The rest of the team sees it too. This kind of indecision isn't just bad business, it's bad football culture. So here's the final question for you, my friend. Do you think the Cowboys should lock in Dak now or ride out the season and risk starting from zero again next year? Drop your take in the comments. And if you're all in or all out on Dak, make it known. Because at this point, the front office is running out of excuses. And the fan base, you deserve clarity.